Look at your hands right now. Turn them over and trace the loops on your fingertips. In 2003, those exact tiny lines saved a man from a death sentence in Malaysia. Police caught a driver with a truck full of drugs. They brought him back to his house. They opened the door and found a man who looked exactly like him. The driver had a twin brother. Officers did not take prints at the arrest scene. Now they had two men with the exact same face sitting in the station. A judge named Ian Chin dropped the charges and let both men walk free. The law hit a genetic wall. Japanese researcher Jiro Ando tracked twins to find the exact numbers. He found that nature controls 98 out of 100 parts of a fingerprint. The other two parts come from the world inside the mother. Babies touch the inside walls before they are born. That physical push changes the lines on their fingers just a tiny bit. That tiny change is the only reason twins have different prints. Your body is a math problem. You step on a scale and hate the number looking back at you. You blame your own weak will when you eat the cake. But Ando checked the health data for thousands of people. He found that DNA decides 88 out of 100 parts of your weight. A heavy person must work 100 times harder than a thin person to lose the same fat. They are fighting their own cells. The cake was never the real problem. People look at a thin person and praise their strong mind. That thin person is just holding a lucky ticket from their parents. They are not brave, they are just breathing. A student sits at a desk and studies for 10 hours a day. Another student plays games and gets the exact same test score. Researcher Hans Eysenck tested huge groups to find out why. He proved that DNA controls up to 80 out of 100 parts of human brain power. Hard work only shapes the leftovers. Your brain is a locked box. Teachers tell a very different story. They say a good school can make any kid smart. They put a struggling kid next to a bright kid. The struggling kid gets better grades for a few years. The good class pulls them up. It looks like hard work wins. But a living clock is ticking inside that kid. Ando measured how brain power changes over time. He found that before age 12, the outside world controls half of a child's mind. Then the child hits the teenage years. A genetic switch suddenly flips on in their body. The outside effects drop away. The child's true genetic code takes the wheel. This is why star students sometimes crash in high school. Their genes simply stopped paying for the good grades. You fight with your parents and swear you will never act like them. You move to a new city to build a different life. But the older you get, the more your code boots up. Your habits start to look exactly like their habits. You look in the mirror and see your father looking back. Time does not change you. Time just shows who you always were. People hate this math. Books tell us we can be anything we want to be. But a hungry person with heavy genes will eventually eat. A person with a high limit for math will eventually solve the hard problem. Effort is just a bonus. If your base number is 0, adding effort still leaves you with 0. The case is closed before you take your first breath. Maybe those tiny lines on your fingers are not just a pattern. We spend our whole lives trying to write our own story. We move away, we change our names, we read the books that promise to fix us. But the ink was already dry before we ever picked up the pen. The greatest trick your body ever played was making you think you were the one steering the ship. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to know what else is hiding in the dark, and I will see you in the next story.